This is the story of a
Vagrant.
intro shot.
Oh, is it?
Today, we're riding ghost trains with hobos.
Yeah, so welcome back to the Danger Planet. My name is Brandon. This is Doug. Today we're going to be unboxing a copy of Vagrantsong, which is a cooperative, story-driven boss battler where we play hobos fighting against ghosts on a ghost train.
Weird.
All right. So, here we have the Vagrantsong. All right, let's get this guy open.
Wait, check the tamper-proof seals, man.
Nah.
How do we know somebody didn't get into our box of vagrants?
Well, who can say? You know, sometimes you just have to go on faith. Hobo train faith.
That's the best type of faith in my experience.
It might be.
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
So here we go. Vagrantsong, a bone-chillingly spooky adventure.
Spooky.
All right. So, what is all this stuff? Love the game. Resources something wrong. Here's Wyrd with their usual out-of-the-box customer service thing. They do this with all their miniatures. Not super surprising. We have a rule book.
I think the rule book's really cool because when you actually read through it, there's a ton of variable scenarios.
Yep. Right at the beginning, I don't know if you guys can see this. The hobo code. In Vagrantsong, the ultimate goal is collaborative fun. I love it.
It's also like, listen, if you're going to believe in something, the hobo code is not the worst, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I got to say...
These are cool. These
yeah,
are
the character breakdowns. Before. I mean, the whole rulebook is available online, so you can check that out yourself. But the paper stock is really good quality. It's very glossy. It looks really nice. All in all, very impressed. Everything looks really well put together.
It's a nice high quality.
It's a nice high quality rule book, so it's going to stay around for you. Ooh, and then we have some of the campaign stuff right at the end, which we probably don't want to go over because it says spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Right. So there we have the rule book. Now we have the first set of tokens. So these are the Floorboard Tokens and the Blood Pool Tokens, like you do. Some coffin markers and some stuff to go ahead and scry through. You can take one of these out. The pretty good. It's pretty thick tokens. I like the cardstock that they're using. I think that's really important to have really thick cardstock because that means that you're going to have longevity in your product. So these are pretty awesome. We'll put these to the side over here. These guys. So this is all of the coins that you'll be grabbing throughout the game to use your actions. Right? Is that this?
Yeah,
is
and they also
premise.
these coins or these tokens, the salt and the candle and the rabbit's foot, and the caltrops or nails, I guess is what they are.
Yeah, I think
they go into the satchel that you guys are going to see, which is really cool. It's like it's like the randomizing mechanic.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what that looks like. I remember what the copy at Gen Con was, and it looked really cool. So let's see if we have one of those.
Well, that's the board, right?
This is the board. Yeah, we'll open up the board now. So this is the train board. This is the board that you...
Big board.
It's a big board. Very, very cool board. And one of the things that they did in the interim segments is that they sort of have this two-tone checkerboard appearance, and you can sort of tell which of the two transitional tiles belong to each room. It's the top one is usually the one on the left, and then the bottom one's the right. But the color is really clear in person. Nice tracks on the board. The board's thick, good quality. There's not like awful hinges on it. They actually slice the hinge on it, so it'll just sort of sit flat.
So it'll work,
which is great.
Crazy.
You know, board crazy. Who would have guessed that you want a board to work? This is the scenario book.
Oh, that's the scenario book.
So this is the thing that has
that's
all the
nicely
cool,
bound.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember in high school where you had to get your like presentations bound?
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's
I don't. I never went to high school. No, that's not true. But yeah. So scenario booklet, very cool. I don't want to go too into the scenario booklet, but we can show the first scenario. These Hurt and Sense Hazelhurst folks, where the main Haint is, of course, the turned faces. So that'll be the first boss that you fight in this scenario, and there's all kinds of cool symbols and stuff.
And then these are the things that can dictate the actions of the Haint.
Because we have the salt, the apple, the candle, the nails, and the glove. Those are going to change from scenario to scenario. So they'll do different things in every scenario.
And when you hit them as things that you pull out of the satchel, it dictates the action of the Haint in round effectively,
which is very cool. All right, so I don't want to go too much more into the scenario booklet, so we can put that to the side. Here we have the lovely hobo bindle. So this is, what is this called? Paisley? I don't know.
Isn't that just like
I feel like there's a word for it, but I don't remember what it's called.
Checkerboard, old school.
Yeah, the checkerboard. It's almost like an old style picnic basket tablecloth that a hobo might.
I believe you mean
put all their
Nicky
things
basket,
in, something like that. Yeah, I don't know anyone named Nicky. Wild. Yeah, this is great. It's really nice quality cloth. Good drawstring, and this is going to be the bag. I will say it would be a little bit better if you could fit your hand more into it. That's a little weird, but it's weird. Get it? Weird miniatures. Shout out to you guys. Well done. So we have each of the character boards over here.
These are so cool. They so each character kind of goes into its own mechanic.
Yeah.
And so the Curse Breaker is I guess the first one. Why don't you read they have the background on all the cards.
They do.
Pretty cool.
So the Curse Breaker has been running for a very long time. Armed with her guile and trusty knife, she hopes to defeat the creatures of darkness that pursue her. She just needs to figure out how. Very nice. She's the red character, so she's cool. Curse Breaker, the tired, and on the back she becomes the restless, but we can talk about that later. We have the Empress, who is, despite few people acknowledging her as the Empress of America, she hasn't stopped spreading her message or trying to amass an army. If any ghosts think they can stop her, they're sorely mistaken. Ooh,
I think the Empress is cool because she has a mechanic that I really like in this game, which is essentially exploding sixes.
Yeah.
And the Empress's abilities proc on the exploding sixes.
Yeah, Empress. So, very cool.
She's really cool. I'm excited to play as her specifically and just try to boat sixes on things.
Yeah. And we have the very much a Rezer sort of from Malifaux type character, the Revivalist. Ooh. So after failing to break solace to the bereaved, or bring solace to the bereaved by attempting to speak to the dead, the Revivalist left his hometown to wander, hoping to find his purpose. He's got to find those porpoises, You gotta
Everybody needs a porpoise.
So he gets to, instead of healing when he would heal, he can heal the other player. So he's sort of the healer of the group, right? If you play with him. Now there are 6 characters, and the game plays in 2 to 4, so you won't always use every character, but you can add and subtract characters in scenario mode as you play. So you can swap them out, if you want, or if somebody dies, or they just lose too many skills. So the Runaway is a little girl with her pup. She's the only hobo character that gets 2 markers, right? So accompanied by her loyal pup, the Runaway has fled home in search of a new adventure. She's eager to see the world, but definitely a little intimidated, or it would be without her shaggy best friend.
Everybody needs a shaggy best friend.
Of course. Yeah. And she also, it seems like, has maybe not the most health, but a good amount of health. Then we have the Songsmith, who I think is probably my favorite character. He's sort of the bard, awesome. Right? The bright lights of the big city have tugged on the Songsmith's strings since childhood. He's dreaming of performing on those grand stages, pouring out the music in his heart for all to hear. Yeah, I think in the very first time we played, Sam and I at Gen Con, I played the Songsmith, and I think Sam played the Curse Breaker. I think that's what we did.
I want to play the Empress. I think I'm the most excited to play her in this. And then also the Songsmith. Those are the 2 I'm excited for the most.
And then lastly, we have the well-traveled Wayfarer. Stories come and go just like people do for the Wayfarer. This journey is just another tale to tell. What better way to spin yarn with than with some new friends, Ooh, you know what? We sort of did the first one. So we have the Curse Breaker becomes the Restless. We have the second character, the Revivalist, becomes the Unsettled. Wild. That's unsettling.
That's unsettling.
The Empress becomes the Consumed. The Runaway, of course, becomes the Frightened. Oh no, her doggy's doing a bite. And then the Songsmith, the Hopeful, becomes the Offbeat. Oh no, Discordant Harmonies. Who can say? Maybe we got some stuff. And then the Wayfarer, who is the Well-Traveled, becomes the Weary Traveler. So yeah, those are all great. Let's take a look at the bones. So these guys are, of course, carved of real bone. No, they're plastic, but they look really nice. They have this sort of off-white bone color to them. We got nice 6-sided dice, pretty standard, good quality. yeah, not nothing too shabby there.
Do they feel weighty? Do they feel weighty?
They're good. They're pretty thick
right.
dice.
Good.
We'll save these to last because I think these are the best parts.
Right.
I love these though. These remind me like something straight out of like Lisa Frank. They're the health trackers for all the characters, but they're literal faceted heart gems, and they're just so good. I love every aspect of this part.
They track it for both the Haints and for the hobos, right?
Yeah, I think both.
Haints and hobos.
Very, very cool tokens. Huge fan of that. So we're going to leave these to the end, but let's take a look at some of the tarot size cards, which of course for those who play Malifaux, Wyrd's other game, will know, are a little bit bigger than normal playing cards, but they just give you so much room, and you can get sleeves for these. These look to be the scenarios, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure what these are. But yeah,
it might be some of the mission cards.
Yeah,
and then I know that the other little black ones are like in-game things.
Yep.
But I think these might be things that trigger from the investigations.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, there's 20 of those, and then there's also 4 tip cards for everybody, so everybody gets one with general actions on one side, and then it talks about the rummage tokens and sort of what they do.
Are those numbered? Those big tarot cards?
These guys,
the black ones.
The black ones are numbered. Yeah,
so I think those are the investigations that trigger when you do one, and then the little black cards are kind of like the in-game secondaries that you can achieve, and you get a random stack of 3 of them at the beginning of the game.
Let's go ahead and pop
so
these
those
open
two
and take
combined are like the narrative plot elements that drive the mission along with whichever Haint you're encountering, I think.
Yeah. So these are absolutely, they have a plan, a thing that you need to do on one side, a goal that you need to achieve, and then a reward on the back. So that's those guys.
And you get a series of them when you start the game, and you try to achieve them during the process of the game.
And then this is the junk that you can find while you're playing. So like things like a fishing line, boxing gloves, compasses, trinkets, spoon bags, all the things that your average hobo would find in a haunted train.
In a haunted train. I think those other ones might be... might be also more gear and skills. I think there's a differentiation between skills and gear.
Yeah. There's basically 2 sorts of cards that you'll be interacting with in the game. Skills are abilities that your characters unlock, and junk is the trinkets and odds and ends you'll find along the way. These are malady cards.
And the things in your trunk.
And this is, of course, the pup who is the best boy. He's a card that of course, the runaway gets because she has the second character. Then we have the ritual cards, which are horrifying, lovely. These look to be the skills because these are the ones that go on the right or left side of the character cards. This one says the moral of the story, and then the westbound. So westbound is when you're dead, right? Just like in normal world.
Just like in reality.
In reality, yep. And then these are the when you get wounded, some things happen. These are the skills on one side, and then when you
take damage, you flip the skill.
When you
and
get wounded, you flip the skill over and lose access to it temporarily. I think when you die, you lose a skill permanently, is what Angela was telling me. Angela, of course, is one of our board gamers at our local gaming store, Battleground Games and Hobbies in Saugus. Shout out to them.
Shout out.
Old knife, strange blade, love it. So these are all the skills that you can get throughout the game.
And then I bet the other ones are skills
and
too.
These are 80 skills, 85 to 39, and it looks like we have quite a few more. So there's 85 different skills that you can unlock in the game. I know.
No, I think there's over 100 combinations of skills and other traits.
I think you have up to 4 skills per character, right?
Yeah.
And also,
they have different characters
one or two,
have different
one
amounts.
or 2 pieces of junk. Oh, is it? Ooh.
Yeah, different characters have different slots on their boards, and they can play to different amounts of combinations, which is part of the different customization.
Looks like they all have 4 skills, but
the little green
some
dude,
of the
old hobo-y green
he gets
dude?
2 pieces of junk.
2 pieces
because
of junk.
He's of course well traveled, and as we all know, the more well traveled you are, the more junk you acquire.
There's more in your trunk.
Oh, yep. So we got so many different skills going on. Then we have, of course, the Seance card, which is creepy and awesome. And more of the ritual cards with their rewards on the back, which are more story elements type things that we're not going to get into now. And that leaves really what I think is potentially the coolest possible part of this game. let's look at the character ones first. So board games have for a long time sort of, been pushing towards miniatures, and miniatures have been sort of the golden standard for what, like really cool board games are. But in this game, they sort of took it back to old school. And one of the trends we're seeing now are standees that are made out of really nice acrylic with great art assets. And these ones knock it out of the park. I think Wyrd really hit a home run. We have the Empress. These are so cool looking, and they add they're just such a cool, aspect. And they could have done miniatures, but
I think I like the fact where the acrylic standees, really the cartoon vibe comes through really well.
Yeah,
try to
absolutely.
Peel. They have a film covering on them actually. Try to peel one off so people can see.
We'll take the Runaways.
How cool they look.
Film covering off. Yeah. So I think that, these standees are amazing, and I just don't think that they could have conveyed the sort of Cuphead vibes that you get with the art of this game.
Yeah. The art direction in this game for me, like, I know that Wyrd makes excellent games and I love Malifaux, right?
Of course.
But the art style and direction in this game was so excellently done and so like cohesively delivered as a package.
Yeah.
That I have a lot of friends that don't really play board games but are excited to play this game because the art is really cool and engaging for them because they're familiar with it from Cuphead.
Yeah, and I think that this is just an example of a situation where the color would just be so important to the art overall that I think if they had tried to do miniatures with this, even if they could have gotten the art style down, I feel like they would have lacked something pretty substantially in the overall feel without the them being colored in this sort of desaturated sort of Americana vibe. Color spectrum. We can take the thing off of this. Yeah, sort of Americana. So this is what the standees look like when they're all together. So they'll be sitting on your tabletop like this. And man, these are just I don't think that the video can really do them justice. They look so gorgeous in real life. Huge fan. Well done. Super good job, guys. And I'll pull out one of the early bosses. Let's see if I can find the
blind pick a Haint.
A Haint, a delicious Haint for us to
I think those are all the good guys.
I think these are mostly good guys. Some of the faces. I was looking for the triple faces, but I don't want to waste too much time. Here we go. Yeah, so the first boss that we talked about are the three faces, which if I remember from when Sam and I played through in Gen Con, basically, the train car is full of all kinds of spirits, and then it sort of clears, and there's just there's a trio, three people just standing at the back, and they won't turn around, and regardless of what angle you view them at, they're always creepy, sort of facing away from you because their faces contain a truth that is too horrible to behold. Presumably. Maybe they're just shy.
Maybe they've just seen somebody's Netflix account that they shouldn't have, or Google account. It freaked them out.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna pull this off and then
we believe in you, bud. Oh, we got there.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. And again, like
I think that's the first boss, right?
This is the first boss. I can't say enough how awesome these miniature or these standees look. They're so good. We can put them on one of the deep blue, sort of aqua-y Haint stands, and just wildly cool acrylic standees. And I think there we have it. We have a lot more standees that we'll do some shots of later, and. Nothing secret in the bottom of the box. That's wild.
You always got to check the bottom of the box. It's like, I think it's required.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you've ever played a campaign game before, always check the bottom of the box. Shout out to you, Gloomhaven.
Well, folks, thanks for taking a ride on that haunted hobo train with us.
Absolutely, and make sure to keep checking back. We're going to do all kinds of stuff like this in the future, and also in the description you'll find a link to our Discord. So if you want to check out what we're doing, talk about board games, hobbies, Malifaux, all that kind of stuff. That's the best place to do it.
Finger guns?
Finger guns. Today on the Danger Planet, we're listening to Adam crinkle bags.
Eat peeps. Adam is eating peeps. Adam loves Fruity Peeps.
Are you eating Fruity Peeps?
I have had audio technician failures in the past where an audio technician was eating a Snickers bar, left it on the fucking mixer, melted, destroyed the mixer and the laptop.
Okay, well, maybe don't work with idiots is my...
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Have we learned from the Snickers bar incident of 84?
That didn't happen in 84. You weren't born yet.
Of 89?
Still didn't happen. You were 2.
Hobos on a haunted train.
Hobos on trains.
Hobos on trains.
I'm tired of these motherfucking hobos on these motherfucking trains. Although I don't want to be a shrew. They have to eat a lot.
I think they do.
Yeah, every 3 hours or they'll like fucking die. Their metabolism is absurdly high.
Weird.
Yeah, that's why you have to tame them.
That's why they have a book about it.
They do.
They have a whole book about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
the
really
Scarlet
like
Letter.
did you read the Redwall books as a kid?
I did. Yeah.
Those books were excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm deeply concerned by the fact that where the fire extinguisher or where the fire alarm was in this room, there's just wires hanging and they look like they're sparking.
They are sparking.
I think that's where